For all drinking and cooking water, you should boil the water for at least a minute or use bottled water until repairs are complete and the bacteria shows it's safe to drink. The Big Bend Voting Rights Project is continuing its efforts to get more people into the booth come November. To raise efforts, BBVRP is starting earlier. You can expect canvassers to go door to door starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow. The groups say that they've upped their registration since last March by 573. The Big Bend Voting Rights Project has also opened the call for volunteers to register voters during this year's Veterans Stand Down that happens May 6th and 7th. Keeping the spirit of International Women's Day alive, the India Association of Tallahassee held its Women Rising exhibition today, celebrating women entrepreneurs. Nearly 20 women entrepreneurs showcased a myriad of talents and wares, from woven goods and handcrafted accessories to colorful art and delicious food. The organization's secretary says she hopes it shows more women the value of their craft.
We have plenty of talented women in the community, but they don't know where to start, how to do it. So this, we hope, is an inspiration for others.
The event returned for its second year at the Northside Community Center after a 2-year pause for the pandemic. Now, they say that after this year's success, they're looking forward to seeing the event grow in the years to come. Still at tonight, 4 United States service members are dead following a plane crash in Norway. The latest on what could have led to that crash is coming up. Plus, bang for your buck. Discount stores are now in a battle to be your go-to place to spend $1. All of that and more in about 3 minutes. As the war in Ukraine continues, Russian forces attacking the city of Lviv for the first time. The city had been a safe haven, but on Friday, 6 missiles were fired from the Black Sea, 4 reaching their targets. Here's ABC's Faith Abube with the details.
Russian officials say they've used a hypersonic missile for the first time in this war, seen here in February as part of training exercises before the invasion began.
Testing it now is just an indication of how desperate they are in terms of trying to attack targets within Ukraine.
The missile set to fly 5 times the speed of sound, nearly impossible to shoot down. In Mariupol, hundreds may still be trapped under the rubble after the attack on a movie theater that was being used as a shelter. Seen here in images shared by Azov Battalion, a far-right paramilitary group now part of the Ukrainian National Guard. Lviv, once a safe haven during this war, hit for the first time on Friday by missiles fired from the Black Sea. This Ukrainian woman lives and works in Poland, but is returning to Ukraine to join the Territorial Defense Forces. I have 3 years of military experience, she says. Now I am going to defend Ukraine. While Russia appears to be broadening its targets, a senior U.S. defense official tells ABC News that Russian forces remain largely stalled on the battlefield, relying on artillery and long-range missiles to strike Ukrainian cities. Kyiv's mayor Vitaly Klitschko visiting a checkpoint outside the city where Ukrainian soldiers have been building trenches to halt the possible advance of Russian troops. The indiscriminate bombing of civilian areas continues. Ukrainian President Zelensky calling Russian tactics a war crime. This heartbreaking image out of Lviv, 109 baby strollers lined up, one for each child killed in this war so far. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
4 United States service members were killed during a NATO training exercise in Norway. Here's ABC's Lama Hassett with the details.
4 U.S. Marines died when a U.S. military aircraft crashed in northern Norway on Friday night. The aircraft, an MV-228 Osprey, was participating in a large NATO military exercise called Cold Response, involving 30,000 troops from more than 27 countries. About 3,000 of those troops are U.S. Marines. Authorities confirm the exercise was unrelated to Russia's war in Ukraine. The aircraft's last known position was in a mountainous area in northern Norway, which is part of the Arctic and is known for temperamental weather conditions. Norwegian search and rescue teams confirmed the weather in the area was challenging.
I've flown in that area and you can just watch the weather go from a beautiful clear day to a raging storm literally in a matter of minutes. This area is very mountainous, it's very treacherous, so no doubt weather played a factor, but a very, very sad outcome.
Norway's Prime Minister offering his condolences on Twitter, writing, "Our deepest sympathies go to the soldiers' families, relatives and fellow soldiers in their unit. The cause of the crash is under investigation." Lama Hassan, ABC News, London.
U.S. Representative and Dean of the House Don Young has died at the age of 88. The Republicans' office says he died Friday while traveling to his home state of Alaska. His wife Ann was by his side. Young was the longest-serving member of the Congress. He was first elected as Alaska's only representative in 1973. Most recently, he was re-elected in 2020 for a 25th term. Dollar stores are battling over dollar prices. Discount chain Dollar General is using the opportunity to draw customers away from rival chain Dollar Tree. It comes after Dollar Tree said last year it was walking away from $1 pricing, raising most products to $1.25. Now Dollar General is highlighting its $1 prices in stores to push the perception that it's the place to save money amid high inflation. Only about 20% of its merchandise is $1 or less. In some towns, it's the only store around, and the company thinks that high gas prices may persuade consumers to shop closer to home.
We just can't get a break from these storms. We've got some more showers and thunderstorms on the way through our evening, streaming in from the southwest, taking over Franklin County, parts of Leon and Gadsden, also through South Georgia along I-75 in Valdosta. Yeah, it's going to continue until the overnight hours. There is still that risk for some severe weather, too. The best support for it is going to be along at I-75 in southeast Georgia. That's where a severe thunderstorm warning is, east, out of our county, closer to the coast of southeast Georgia. But we'll keep an eye on how things trend throughout the rest of tonight as these lines of showers continue to progress from the southwest and move to the northeast, going to produce some heavy rounds of rain and flashes of lightning, and maybe some gusty winds, too, that could prompt a severe storm warning later this evening, but we'll keep a close eye on that. This is particularly aggravating for areas that have already seen several inches of rain leading up to this point, so that's something to also keep in mind throughout the rest of tonight. A lot of us are in a marginal risk for severe weather, except for southwest Georgia. You'll probably stay dry throughout the rest of tonight, but a good portion of the Big Bend and southeast Georgia in a marginal risk, and also a notch up from that, a slight risk for severe weather. So that would be a level 2 out of 5 risk for parts of southeast Georgia and northeast Big Bend, Madison County and Hamilton, and Lowndes County. So that's where the best support for severe storms could intensify later tonight. So that is our area to watch. Otherwise, overnight, maybe some more showers and storms lingering, but Sunday looking a lot better since it will be dry, but we will stay breezy. Let's talk about your forecast and focus and track these storms throughout the rest of tonight, seeing those steady stream of showers just progressing right on in. So seeing some heavy rounds of rain possible even during our overnight hours. The intensity factor should dwindle the later we go into the night and into tomorrow morning, but you still might hear some rumbles of thunder overnight and some flashes of lightning. Sunday looking good, just breezy. Fortunately, we'll be less humid and see plenty of sunshine by the afternoon, but we should stay on the breezy side all day long. We'll take a break from active weather on Sunday and Monday, but as we go late into Tuesday, early Wednesday, another system is going to swing through and produce some more showers and storms. Potentially could turn severe on your Wednesday. Showers may linger also into Thursday, closing out the week. Maybe some cooler and drier air to push these showers out of the region by early Friday, and then by next weekend hopefully will be dry. Temperatures tonight cooling off to the 40s, warming up to the 70s tomorrow. If you're going to do some boating, small craft, definitely exercise caution. Seas are going to be high thanks to this cold front, and tomorrow looking good, finally getting a break. It's going to be a refreshing day thanks to those cool northerly breezes, Jada. Just up and down weather, and tomorrow's the first day of spring, and this is what we get, that just unsettled weather that comes in waves, and another week of it, unfortunately, coming our way.
I guess this is the chance to stay inside, do the spring cleaning, and then once all of the weather has passed, get out and enjoy spring.
100%.
Well, I guess until we get to tomorrow, Mother Nature has had the capital city in her control, it feels like, this entire weekend. But the 8th-ranked Florida State baseball team able to get their 3-game weekend series started this afternoon, taking on NC State in an ACC showdown. And let's just say the Bats alive and well today. Home half of the second we start. Colton Vincent slaps a grounder right down the third baseline, stays fair. That's going to play FSU's second run of the game. 2-0 the score. So Vincent's on second. Next batter up, the red-hot Jamie Ferrer, roping a double into the gap and left. Vincent coming around to score, and it's 3-0 Noles just like that. So while Parker Messick gets it done on the bump, the Noles bats keep it going in the second. Logan Lacey, the hometown kid, with a shot to the video board. Bye-bye baseball, 5-0 Noles, part of a 5-run second inning. Florida State would plate 10 in the first 3 innings en route to a 13-5 win. They'll conclude the series with a doubleheader tomorrow starting at noon. And staying on the diamond, number 2 ranked Florida State softball also battling Mother Nature this weekend as they host the Eagles of Boston College for a 3-game series. But we were able to get game 1 in from Graf, so let's get you to the top of the 5th. FSU up 4-0, trying to keep it that way. Devin Flaherty, the old-fashioned 4-1 double play, making it look easy as the Noles take their lead to the 6th. Where Sydney Sherrill, the All-American, showing why she is one. A rope down the line, but an even better play by her. Gets her team out of the inning and, more importantly, keeps the shutout alive. But in the top of the 7th, Eagles threatening. 1 out, bases loaded. Catherine Sandercock in need of some relief, and she finds it. A hot shot back right to her, to home for 1, to first, double play. That's the game-ending double play, and Florida State winners 4-0 in game 1 of the series. And as I said, game 2 and 3 now being played tomorrow with the first pitch set to go at noon. And just a quick drive over to the highest of 7 hills. The Lady Rattlers softball team win their first SWAC series at home this season with a 5-0 shutout win over Mississippi Valley State. Kiana Watson, Nia Morgan both drove across 2 runs for FAMU, who hit the road Friday for a 3-game series with Alabama Huntsville. Stick with us. I've got more sports coming up right after the break. We're a little over 48 hours away from tip-off in the NCAA Division II Elite 8, pitting the Valdosta State Lady Blazers against Western Washington. The 4-5 seed matchup in the bracket and what will be the final game of the evening on Monday. VSU comes in riding major momentum stemming from their performance last week in Jackson, Tennessee. And as the South Region champions prepare for their next obstacle in their path to a national championship, their confidence level is right where they want it to be, as this Lady Blazer squad has found an extra gear at just the right time. And by no means is any of their next possible 3 games a, quote, surefire win. But the mentality around the program is contagious, and they know that they control their own destiny in Birmingham.
Ever since I've been in high school, coaches always bring up, postseason is just different. Everyone plays different. Everyone somehow equals out. And so I think we felt that equal, playing field, and we're like, no, we're still just going to be better. We're going to be us. And
when I tell you, every single person in this gym, whether they were a transfer, they're a freshman, they've been here the whole time. And I mentioned this in another interview. It's kind of just the mentality of Valdosta State in general, especially athletics. You come here to win. I think what a lot of people saw during regionals was us starting to click on all 5 cylinders. But I think we still have yet to play our best basketball, so.
Exciting stuff there. Valdosta State and Western Washington tip-off Monday night, 9:30 in Birmingham. We'll see if that 5th gear, maybe even a 6th gear, exists for the Lady Blazers. Stick with us. Alexa has a final look at your forecast when we return.
More showers and storms going to push through this evening, producing some heavy rounds of rain at times, lightning, maybe some gusty winds. We'll keep a close eye on how strong those winds can get, and particularly in areas that have already seen so much rain. Just keep that in mind. It's going to be continuing to be wet through tonight and even during the overnight hours. Sunday, we dry out. It's going to be a little cooler too and breezy with winds out of the north. Jada finally getting a break with some sunshine.
Well, thanks. We're back tonight at 11.
History lessons in school may be hard to relate to if they're about events that happened decades ago or are taking place thousands of miles away. For students displaced by the war in Ukraine, now starting new lives in the U.S., what's being discussed in their classes hit very close to home.
Any questions on any of this stuff? All right, let me hand out the assignment that I want you guys to work on right now.
Today, a class with Elizabeth Donovan is as much about a lesson as it is real life.
So there are two questions. It's so important for me for the kids to understand what's going on, and they're also very passionate about it. A lot of them have family in Ukraine. We're looking at the differences between before and after, so keep that in mind.
She grew up in a Ukrainian family. The day we were in her classroom, she learned some of her relatives safely escaped, but others have decided to stay.
My uncle, who's 78, decided to stay. So, which is, you know, horrible. But every Ukrainian I speak to says, I understand him. And so I'm trying to understand that too, but he doesn't want to leave his home. He's 78 years old.
In this school, the stress of family in the face of war is now common.
I saw the Lord seated on a high and lofty throne.
This is St. George Academy, a small Catholic high school with many Ukrainian students.
Ukraine is all I've ever known.
This was 9th grader Marta Slava's first day at St. George. She escaped Ukraine just days ago.
I remember waking up in the morning to my mom shaking and crying because she was telling me to pack my bags and that we had to leave immediately because, well, Ukraine was being invaded.
She's one of 4 students now enrolled here who left the country since the Russian invasion started.
I feel so bad for classmates and friends who did not have an opportunity like me to leave Ukraine.
She's living with her grandmother as her mom is still in Europe, her father's still in Ukraine, and her older sister, she's still waiting to hear from.
She has 3 young children. She also tried to get out, but it was no use. I don't know where she is right now. I haven't got any information from her, and I don't know if she got out, and I don't know where the kids are.
You know, youth is beautiful, and I think this kind of stress gives our youth their first wrinkle.
Andrew Stasiuv is the school's principal.
The mornings are the toughest because you're waiting to hear. You know, they're 7 hours ahead of us. So when we wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and it's like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in Ukraine, you already know who survived the night.
He has family still in Ukraine. So does Maxim Kosar. He said goodbye to his father and crossed the Polish border.
I was really worried because I spent all my life with him. Yeah.
The 16-year-old came to the U.S. to live with his mom. He messages with his dad multiple times a day, who he says often has to hide in a bomb shelter beneath their home.
When I see this, the siren veiling starts, I chat him if he's okay because he goes to the underground in our home just to be safe.
Please be ready for tomorrow's quest.
For as unique as it is to have a school so closely tied to a war so geographically far away,
On the article on page 14 through 17.
the hope is what comes from these classrooms is a message the entire world can believe in.
I want them to understand how senseless this war is. I want them to understand that history, you know, we can learn from history and from our mistakes, and that they are really the future, and the things that they do and the people that they elect and the choices that they make can make a world of difference.
In New York, I'm Chris Stewart reporting.
PayPal is expanding its service